Jacob Waltuck.
Well, hello there, my friends. Grandfather Elk here, and I'm going to tell you, or at least read you a story about an unlikely Christmas friendship. A friendship that is out of this world. Glitter the Christmas Martian. Once upon a time, deep in the woods of Canada, there lived a huge bear named Maurice. The air was getting cold, and it was time for Maurice to prepare for hibernation. One day, as Maurice was clearing the floor of the cave he lived in, a group of other forest animals gathered around him. The animals were his friends. "It's almost winter," a squirrel squealed happily. "The holidays are coming."
"Christmas is on its way," shouted a moose. "Why don't you join us?"
Maurice shook his head. "I have to get ready for hibernation," he said. The other animals begged for Maurice to celebrate Christmas with them. Maurice sighed. "I wish I could join you," he said, "but perhaps another time." The animals groaned in disappointment and walked away. Maurice went into his cave to sleep. He loved his friends dearly, but was afraid that if he missed the holidays, he would let his friends down, and he didn't want to feel isolated, since he lived alone in his cave. But a bear is a bear, and bears hibernate in the winter. No sooner had he snuggled up in his cave and fell asleep than Maurice heard a low humming sound and a loud crash outside. Maurice woke with a start and ran out of his cave to investigate. As it turned out, a huge spaceship had crash-landed in a nearby glade. Maurice hid behind a large tree as the top of the spaceship opened up. Out stepped a tall, ravishing Martian with luminous green skin, a silver spacesuit, and an angelic face. The Martian looked around, her eyes scanning the woods. Maurice noticed the glowing Martian roving through the forest. Sensing danger, Maurice bared his fangs, roared, and charged straight at the Martian. He raised his massive clawed paw, ready to strike. The Martian squealed in terror and cowered. Noticing the Martian's innocent eyes, Maurice lowered his paw. The Martian took a step back and let out a soft warble. Maurice took a deep breath. "I'm sorry I scared you," he said. "I thought you were a hunter." The Martian made a series of wide, gentle gestures and hung her head. "Are you lost?" asked Maurice. The Martian nodded. "I'm Maurice," said the huge bear. "What's yours?" The Martian made gestures like flashing lights. "Is it glow? Starlight?" asked Maurice. The Martian shook her head. "Is it glitter?" Glitter squealed with delight. Then she noticed Maurice looked solemn. She looked at him as if to ask, "What's wrong?" "The thing is," Maurice explained, "winter is approaching. I have to get ready for hibernation, but it's almost the holiday season, and I'm afraid I'll miss them. And my friends too." Glitter placed a smooth hand on Maurice's shoulder. Maurice saw in her eyes that she understood him. A smile spread across Glitter's face. She took Maurice by the paw and led him to a small log cabin where a family was setting up Christmas lights and practicing singing carols. They looked through the window and noticed the merriment going on. Glitter turned to Maurice. She made a series of warbles and gestures, motioning to the window. "Are you saying that we can celebrate Christmas early?" Maurice asked. Glitter nodded. With that, Maurice invited the animals to his cave and introduced them to Glitter. Together, they decorated Maurice's cave with glowing crystals. Then, Maurice, his friends, and Glitter gathered around, had a big meal, and sang Christmas carols. Maurice embraced his friends, but the one he felt close to the most was Glitter. The next day, the animals banded together and fixed Glitter's spaceship. As it revved up, Glitter looked at Maurice with warm eyes. A tear trickled down Maurice's cheek, but Glitter threw her arms around him, burying her face in his soft fur. The two hugged for a long time. Glitter finally let go, then reached into the pocket of her spacesuit and pulled out a shiny, diamond-shaped crystal, placing it into Maurice's paw. She smiled, and Maurice smiled back. Glitter waved goodbye to Maurice and the animals as she stepped into her spaceship. "Farewell, Glitter," Maurice called out. "I will never forget you, and Merry Christmas!" Soon, the spaceship's door closed. Then, with a loud whoosh, the spaceship soared away into the sky. As soon as Glitter was gone, Maurice let the other animals hang out and sleep with him. He was finally ready for hibernation. A year later, Maurice started a family. He and his wife and cubs lay down on the soft ground with the other animals. Then, one of his cubs pointed to a glowing star in the sky. "Daddy, what is that star?" asked the cub. "Well, my daughter, this is a special star," answered Maurice. "Someone very special." The end.